Okay, so hello everyone, and in this video, we'll be integrating Razorpay in our React Native application. So why am I creating this video suddenly? Because I was actually building a similar kind of application for my client. I was doing some freelance work for that guy. So basically, we had a requirement for integrating Razorpay in our React Native application. So I thought that it would be better to let's just create a video on that because I didn't find any specific searching on YouTube or anywhere for React Native. So yeah, let's try to do that on our own, and it will be helpful for others if they see that in future. Okay, so let's begin. So first of all, you need to have a Razorpay account. So it would take a few days or weeks or at least a month to get some kind of response from their side, because I got a response from for around I just applied for Razorpay account for around 3 weeks ago, and then I got the response late. But definitely for some people it might be earlier because they verify each account one by one, so that's why the time is required. Okay, so anyways, what we'll do is we'll just assume that you have created your Razorpay account, and for creating the account it's very easy. You can just sign up, log in, and then you can apply for your bank account. Once it gets verified, you'll get a notification by Razorpay team on your email account. Okay, so please be careful. Like, you don't just assume that Razorpay is not responding. It will take time, they will take time, but definitely you will be replied after a few days or a few weeks. Okay, so it takes time. So definitely once you get logged in, your account is verified, you will be able to get the API keys. Okay, so there are two types of keys. You will be getting the test key or the main key, which is the live key actually. So we'll be working on the test keys so that everyone can work together, because the live keys are only for those people whose bank accounts are fully verified, I guess. So I would say that right now we'll be working with the live keys, and I have taken out some live keys from my demo account which I have created on Razorpay. Okay, so I'll be using my test keys for now. So you can also use the same, and you can search on Google how you can get the test keys from Razorpay. That's a very easy method, and that's something specific for Razorpay. Okay, that's not for React Native. So yeah, you can get the test keys from there, and then what you can do is you can start with your React Native application. So I won't take too much time for this video, but yeah, if you have any queries regarding this, or if you have tried this before, if you have a better approach, definitely you can mention that on the live chat or in the description. All right, and if you want to contact me, you can message me on Instagram. Let me just show you my Instagram page. There you can just message me. All right, so this is my Instagram user handle. Here you can message me directly, or you can also search Harshal Jain on LinkedIn. You'll find me there. Okay, so I hope I'm clear with this, and now we can continue. All right, so first of all, what do we need to do is we need to create a very basic React Native application. So let's do that. And I hope everyone is familiar with the basics of React Native. So here you can see we have a very basic folder, and you don't need to just install anything. You just need to have Node.js and VS Code pre-installed in your computer. So inside this, what I'll do is I'll just open a terminal, and here let's create a React Native application. So it's very easy to create a React Native application. You don't need to install anything specific for React Native applications, okay? Because we are using npx, which usually works when you have Node.js installed. Okay, so npx React dash native, and here you need to just type your application name. So I'll just say payment test. Fine. So if I just hit enter, you can just get a React Native application. It would be a template, and you can just modify it on your own. Okay, one more command is actually there, npx React Native init. Okay, so yeah, hit enter and it will be done. So it would take at least a few minutes to actually create a React Native application. So you can just wait for a while, have some water, and then come back. All right, so till then, what we can do is we have to search for some libraries, some packages which are required for React Native to actually use this Razorpay integration. Okay, so for that, what can we do is you must be familiar with .env by the way. So what I'll do is I'll just show you what is .env. And .env simply means that you are storing your Razorpay keys somewhere safe so that nobody can see it except you on your local computer. It's like that. Okay, so .env is very important. And let's first of all search for it. Here I'll be searching for React Native .env. Okay, so here you'll find this package. So this is a .env package which is required for storing the environment variables. Inside this, you'll be storing your Razorpay test keys. Okay, you have a test key ID and you have a test key secret. So you'll be using these. So after this, what you'll do is we need another more npm package. So I would be simply searching for React Native Razor Pay npm. Okay, you can simply search for this, and here you can see that we got a package for Razorpay which is specific for React Native. Okay, so we are using a specific package. So you can see that we have installation commands, so we can use them easily. All right, so let's see that, and you can see that here we have completed the installation part. Okay, the package. Okay, I'm sorry. The template has been set up of React Native. Now we'll be installing the packages. So first of all, let's go here, and here you can see that we have payment test. I'll be just opening it with VS Code. Okay, so here you can see that we have this in VS Code. Fine. So let's first of all, I'll be following JSON. I'm sorry, I'll be following the JavaScript format. So inside this, I would just say that RNFES. This is a shortcut for creating a React Native template. For getting this template, for getting this shortcut, you can simply search for in the extension. You can search for ES7. So here you'll find that we have ES7 Plus. You can just install this, then you'll get the snippets, all the shortcuts which is available for React Native or React.js. So you can see that we have a very basic app template. So let's try to run this first of all. But before running, I would actually just make you install the packages which we would need, so that we don't need to close this again and again. So here first of all you need the two packages which we have encountered. So first is the .env and the second one is actually React Native Razorpay. Okay, so let's go back here, and here I'll just paste it, and then the second one is actually React Native Razorpay. Okay, so what I'll do is, okay, I think we have to copy the whole. So what we can do is I'll just copy this right away. Okay, fine. Alright, so now you can see that here we just need to install these two, React Native.env and React Native Razorpay. Just hit enter, and these two packages will be installed directly. Fine. So yeah, it would take a minute to install them. And till then, what you can do is you can just check if an Android emulator is available in your React Native application. Like I've been using Android Studio, and Android emulator has been used there. So I've been using Android Studio for creating an emulator in for React Native. So you can actually use Android Studio, or you can use your real device. But yeah, this is an iPhone, I can't use that, but you can use your Android device for that. Okay, so I would be focusing on Android specific installations. Okay, I don't know what's different for iOS, because I'm a Windows user right now, so I won't be using the iOS specific installation things. Okay, so here you can see that we have completed this part. So let's start the application. So for starting the application, I would say npm start. So just hit enter, and here you will see that we have started it. Okay, so npm start, and just press A so that we have these things. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just launch my emulator. So by the way, the emulator would launch automatically. You would see some window like this, an empty window, empty terminal, and along with this you'll get your emulator started. But yeah, you need to initialize this with some like Android Studio. We need to initialize this with Android Studio first of all. So please make sure you have installed React Native properly. I won't be telling that right now. Okay, so yeah, you'll get this mobile device. Here you can see all your real-time changes, right? So it would take at least a few minutes to actually install the new application which we have created, that is the payment test application in our mobile emulator, and it would be done automatically, I guess, or we have to just press A so that it would be installed. So let's wait for a few minutes. Okay, so here you can see we got a prompt for installing the application. So yeah, it would be done in a few minutes. So let's wait. By the way, if you have any kind of freelance queries, or if you have some freelance project which you want to build, and if you are looking for some kind of freelancer, then definitely you can contact me. Uh, I'm always available for these kind of projects. Okay. So yeah, my build is successful, and here you can see that the React Native application is now starting. So what you'll do is right now you can see that we have this app text here. So we'll see this text in the first screen. So app text is there. That means our React Native application is installed properly. So another thing which you would want to do is here we will be using .env config. Okay, so for that, what you need to do is we have installed React Native .env. The second thing which you need is inside babel config.js, you need to specify that you are using .env configurations. Okay, so for that, what you need to do is you need to just write a few commands. So I'll just go to the official website again, and here you'll find React Native.env. Inside this we actually have the plugins. Okay, so just copy this plugin, or you can just copy this folds, that would be better. So just copy this. Fine, just copy this, and you need to paste it after the presets. Okay, so yeah, the plugins are just there, and you have specified that whenever I call @env, what would happen, a file named .env will be called. Okay, so I'll just create a file named as .env, and this will be called whenever I just import @env in any of my files. Okay, just remember this, and this name isn't much important, but yeah, you can just write app_env, and then the path is .env, because since it's in the same folder, you can see babel config and .env are in same folder, so just write .env here, and rest is everything fine. If you need to block some kind of env variable, you can definitely specify that, but we don't need that. Okay, so inside this we are going to specify our keys. So what will be our keys? So let's say that we got some test keys from Razorpay. Okay, so you need to find those keys with your account. So you'll definitely find this. You can just search on Google how to find test keys after creating a Razorpay account. You'll definitely get that. Okay, so my first key will be Razorpay underscore key underscore ID. So I'll just name it something like this, and right now I'll just give it some temporary value. You can just add your own values, like the actual values which you get from Razorpay dashboard. Okay, and initially you would be testing it. You won't be sharing your live keys. Okay, so you can assume this is a test Razor key, okay, Razorpay key. And similarly, we have this ID. Again, we have the secret. Okay, so you would have two types of keys. One is the ID, second is the secret. Okay, these two are very important. And right now, till you are testing, you are not performing real payments, you just want to test the application, you just want to perform test payments, what you would do is you would simply type the test keys which you get from Razorpay, not ABC. You will get the test keys from Razorpay. Okay, so the actual keys will be actually here, and now you can use this. Okay, so for using these, we first of all need to restart the application because we have changed the config, and this is the few of the initial things which we actually use when we start the React Native application. So let's restart this. Okay, so I'll just close this. Command Control C. You can actually use Control C command to close this. And for restarting it, you can again type npm start. Okay, so you don't need to restart the emulator because that's totally fine. You need to just start the React Native application. Just press A, it would be started. All right. So as you can see, it has started and I think it must work. So what we would do for testing, we would simply import the env configs which we are using. So for that, what we would do is we will simply import, we would type import and the two variables which we have created from @env. So this is the path which we have declared in babelconfig.js, and this path simply depicts that we are calling .env file. Okay, whatever is the path specified here, we are calling that. So we are calling the .env file, that is this file. Okay, simply whenever you write this, we are calling this file. So inside this file, we have the ID and the secret. So I'll just copy this and paste this. And similarly, we have the React Native, Razorpay key secret. Okay, so we'll just copy this and paste it here. So we have just imported our two variables, and let's try to print that so that we can see if they are imported properly or not. So for checking, I'll just say that console.log, and don't do this when you are sharing your application. Just remove this kind of console logs, because these are your actual keys. So anyone can actually use this to manipulate your account. Okay, but for testing, we are just using ABC, XYZ values, so it's totally fine. So here you can see that we got the values here. That means the keys are totally secure and you have imported them, and you can't actually see those keys. Okay, the env files have the key values, but you can't see the values directly. Okay, so this is the benefit of env. And whenever you are sharing your application, you don't generally share the env file. Okay, so it's like the other user or the your friend can create their own env values, can store their own env values. Like I'll be sharing this code with you on GitHub, so you can add your own env values and then you can just work with that. Okay, so that's the benefit of using env environment variables, and this would be very useful when you are deploying your code somewhere, and not in the React Native part. In React Native, you mostly build the application and env gets with that. But if you are hosting it somewhere, like if you're building a React JS application and if you are hosting it some platform, like if I give an example of Varcel actually takes environment variables separately. Okay, so you need to know some concepts of environment variables also, and this is an example. You can use env in any kind of programming thing or any kind of thing, like in React.js or in Next.js or in Angular. You can use environment variable in anything. We are using it in React Native. All right, so here you can see that we have those. So what we would do, we would just define two variables. Okay, so these are the two variables in which we are storing our values. That's fine. Okay, so even if you are not getting the console log, you can just add directly your key values, but that's not secure. Okay, just make sure. But if you don't want to use Razorpay, if you don't want to use the env file, you can directly add your key values like ABC, XYZ. It's like that. Okay, so now we have the values. So I would assume that we have two important parameters. So let's say that the amount, so the amount is suppose 100. Okay, so amount is 100 rupees. Okay, 100 rupees. Okay, 100 rupees, and the currency is INR. So we have these two values. So what do we need is we would just create a function named as handle payment. So this is a function. Inside this, we would be just declaring some options and we would be proceeding with the payment. Okay, so this is very important. And now the important part comes here. Okay. So yes, here what we would say, we have some options. Okay, so you can find these options in the Razorpay website. What we would do is we would just go to Razorpay website so that we can see things which are available for React Native. Okay, so here you just need to type Razorpay React Native docs. Just search for this. Okay, and then you'll find the official Razorpay website. Here you can see that they have actually provided build integration Android. We are working for Android. You can also follow this tutorial, and you would find the integration, proper integration also. But it would be always better to follow the documentation, because documentation is the latest one, not the videos. Okay, and I'm creating a video, but definitely documentation is always required. That's why I'm showing you the documentation. So you can see that initially we just installed the React Native Razorpay. So we are actually here, and then you can see that now what do we need is we just need to call some options. Here you can see we have some options. Okay, so these are the options which we would need. So I'll just copy these, or else what we can do is just go down and we have a better method here. Yeah, these options. I was talking about these options. Okay, so just copy these options, important ones. So these are the important options. Just copy these. And inside this, I would just paste my options. Okay, so these are the options which you would need. Okay, so now what can be the description? You can just give any description to it. It would be dynamic. You can give dynamic or static description. It's up to you. So this is payment specific. Okay, for each payment you can have different description. Okay, like the someone is buying a basketball, someone is buying a cricket bat. It's like that. So you can give description about that, what kind of thing has been bought, what kind of payment is it. Okay, so you would just say that I am buying a BMW car, something like that. Okay, and now you need to provide some image link. So if you are suppose if you are buying a BMW car, you will be passing the image for that specific. Okay, right now I don't have any image, so I'll just leave it like this, or you can leave it empty also. For leaving it empty, you can just leave this empty, so this would take no image. Okay, and then you can just say whatever is your currency. So we have a variable for this, so we are going to use the variable. And now you also need to provide the ID. Okay, so what is the ID? ID is the Razorpay key ID. So we'll just paste this variable here. Okay, so this is the ID. Now what is the amount? So amount is actually in paise. You need to provide the amount in paise. So 1 rupee equals 100 paise. So this would be 100 into 100. Okay, 100 rupees into 100 would be now converted into paise. Okay, so now what we would do is we would just say that amount into 100. Okay, amount into 100. So this is in rupees, this is converted to paise. Okay, it's like that. Now you would simply just name something like whatever, whoever is your customer, you would just name, give their name. Okay, so my customer one, you just give the name of your customer, that is the credit card holder or any other name, whoever is making the payment, who's making the payment, whoever person is making the payment, whose name will be here. Okay, that person name will be here. So here you can see I've just passed the name of the person who is making the payment. Okay, now you need to provide some order ID, but just leave it empty because the automatically the ID is generated. So you can just leave it as it is. Okay, you can just leave as it is, automatically it would be generated. And if you have some order ID, you can pass it definitely. Now you need to provide the email of that person who is making the payment. Okay, so I'll just say xyz@gmail.com. Okay, so that person is using your application and that person is making the payment. So that person's email is provided, similarly their phone number is provided, similarly their name is provided. Okay, so you can just give any name, that is the person's name who is making the payment. Okay, so I'll just say that suppose the person is a person name. Okay, whatever is the name, you are just passing that. Okay, so these parameters were important, and these are actually important because whenever you are accessing the credit card, like you want to pay through credit card, the customer wants to pay through credit card, their name will be automatically shown in the credit card, just like that. Okay, so it's up to you. So you can pass the values or you can leave them empty. So also you can provide some color theme. So this is some color code, I guess this is orange, so you would get some orange color theme. So that's what the options were. Now you can securely make a payment in Razorpay. So for making a payment in Razorpay, you need to import Razorpay checkout from React Native Razorpay. Okay, so let's go back, and here you can actually see they have imported Razorpay checkout from React Native Razorpay. Okay, so just enter this and now you are good to go. And here you can see finally you can just paste this. Okay, so what's the final thing which you are getting is you're just passing the options, now as a response, if response is success, you would give an alert that yeah, payment is successful. And here you can see we are getting a payment ID. So this payment ID will be stored in your database, not like you'll get a payment ID from Razorpay. Okay, once the payment is completed, you'll get a payment ID. Now you can store it wherever you want. Okay, either you are creating an order is successful because payment is done. Okay, so the order is successful, so you will be storing this order in some of your database, right? So you can store that order along with the payment ID also, so that if in future if you want to check that is was this payment correct or not, so you can easily find that by this payment ID. So this payment ID is very important, and right after this you can do this on your own. But this is the success message if payment is completed, and this is the error message. So let's try to run this, and before running this you need to check first of a few things. Okay, so I think everything is fine. If I just save this, Control S, and you can see everything is fine. So what we would do is, first of all, here you need to check temporary credentials. Okay, so what we would do is just go down, and by the way, you can do a few more things, but for making payment successful, these steps are fine. So here you can see we have an option for test integration. So in test integration, you can get different kind of values. So if you are using UPI, you can actually use this UPI ID for success and this for failure. Okay. And similarly, if you want to use card, you can use any kind of card values. And I would say choose the domestic one, that would be better. So in Visa, you can just write this, and then you'll get an option to make a successful payment or failed payment for test keys in this Razorpay. Okay, so right now I'll be just using this, or you can also use this. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll first of all say failure at the rate Razorpay. I'll be just copying this. Okay, then what I would do is I would create a button with which would be called whenever I want to make a payment. Okay, so what I would do is I would simply say that we have button, and let's style this a bit. Okay, so I'll just say that its style is something like this, and you're getting you're seeing that I'm getting some options: background color green, color white, padding, something. So these are options coming from GitHub Copilot. So if you want to use GitHub Copilot, definitely you can, but not recommended for beginners. So now once I click on pay now, what happened here is the app crashed. Okay, so let's see what fault did we have we did right now. Okay, so I think we need to just start the application again so that things are on same page. Okay, so it's starting again. If I click on pay now, you can see payment test keeps stopping. Okay, anyways, what we would do is for testing this, what we can actually do is we have some other kind of things. Uh, let's try to debug this. Okay, let's try to debug this. So I think the problem with this is actually the installation part, and we have React Native Razorpay here, by the way. So I'll just copy this again, and let's see what things we have installed here. Okay, so we have actually installed React Native Razorpay. So let's try to install this again. Okay, if there is any problem, we would install that again. Okay, so just go back, and I would simply install React Native Razorpay. Just hit enter, and then you're good to go. Okay, fine. And now I think it's done, and I would simply, what I would do is I would just try to uninstall this. For that, I can simply go on app info. Then in app info, I can just uninstall this. Okay. Yes. Now let's try to rerun this. I'll just close everything because this app work was crashing for some reason. So I'll just close this. Fine. Now we are actually good to go. NPM start. Or we have a better command also. We can also use another command, npx react native run android. This is some another command. So we'll be using npm start right now. So it will be started again. Now let's press A so that it's working. And now I think it must work, by the way. Yes, we have handle payment, and then it would pop up like this. Fine. Hmm. So it keeps on crashing. Let's see what's the problem here. So first of all, I have used the variables, and these variables are the keys which I'm getting from this. So I'll just console log first of all. So you can actually see that I am getting, if I just reload this, okay, if I just restart this, I must get those variables first of all. As you can see, we are getting those variables. Okay, I'm sorry, I did a mistake that we actually need to provide the real credentials. That's why it's not working properly. So now I would replace these values. I would replace these values with my actual keys. Okay, so now I would just hide everything so that nobody can steal my keys. By the way, I can just delete and re-upload different kind of keys, definitely, but I don't want to do that kind of hard work. Okay, so now I'll just close the application, and now I'm going to just replace my env values. Okay, so just a minute. All right, now I have replaced my env values with the actual test keys which are provided by Razorpay, not abcxyz. So what I'll do is, first of all, I need to clean the cache. Okay, so for cleaning the cache, you can simply use a command which is actually npm cache clean force. Okay, if I just hit enter, then the cache will be cleaned, all the old env values will be removed. Now I'll add my new env values by simply clicking this. Okay, just start. Now it will be started. If I press A, it will be again properly installed, then we are good to go. So yes, it started, and now if I click on pay now, again it crashed. Okay, let me just check if the values are loaded or not. For that, I can simply go on env. Hmm, I found the issue. I think it's because of the image, so I just provided some URL in the image, and rest everything is fine. So yeah, I think everything is fine. So now we can continue. And yes, for success message, we actually get this, and for failure message, we get this. Okay, fine, fine. Hmm, fine. So now we can continue, and I think everything is fine, and I'll just print my values to actually check if the secret key is working or not. Then I'll show you on my page. Okay, so what was the application? It was the application. And yes, my keys are also working. That is totally fine. Now, if I try to run this, yes, now it's working. Okay, so just a minute, let me just hide everything. Yes. All right. So now everything is fine. I just tweaked it a little bit with some values. Okay, what I did was I just passed this again, then everything is fine. Okay, I just passed some image URL because it's required. Okay, so I've just passed some image URL. Then you can see that here you get some options. Okay, here you get some options, and here we have UPI. Okay, we have UPI. So for UPI, if I click on UPI, here we get the option for success at the rate Razorpay. Okay, success at the rate Razorpay, and another one is actually failure at the rate Razorpay. Let me just show you that. Here you can see we have failure at the rate Razorpay to actually fail the payment. So if I just, okay, it won't be pasted, I have to type it manually. Failure at the rate Razorpay. Okay, I want to fail this payment, that's why. So here you can see right now I'm getting one because I forgot to add 100 again. So here you can see into 100. Okay, so this is actually converted to paise now, and I have to just reload this. Okay, accidentally I have shown my test keys. Okay, I have to remove this later on. Anyways, my fault. Okay, so now we can continue, and for this I have to reload the application. Okay, so I'll be just reloading the application, and now we'll see the next changes. Okay, okay guys, so now you can see that we have pay now option. If I click on this, we are getting undefined. Why are we getting undefined? Because we didn't get our keys properly. Okay, malformed JS keys. Okay, I think this is because of the currency. Okay, I'm sorry, not this one, into this. Okay, now it would be fine. Amount into 100. Fine. Now it's totally fine. Okay, so now let's just save this, and if I click on pay now, you can see that now I'm getting the pop-up, and this is the benefit of using Razorpay. You just need to just provide the keys, and rest everything is handled by Razorpay. Okay, so definitely they take some commissions, but it works. So here you can see I'm getting 100 rupees. That is, my 100 rupees was there. I have to multiply it with 100 because of I want to convert it to passive first. Okay, now if I click on UPI and just pass the UPI ID. Here you can simply pass failure, FILURE, at the rate RAZORPAY. Okay, so I think it must work. So pay now, and hopefully it fails the payment. So here you can see that we have an option, payment was unsuccessful due to temporary issue if the amount got detected, blah blah blah. Okay, so here you can see payment has been failed. Now if I try to make the payment successful, let's try to make the payment successful. SUCCESS at the rate RAZORPAY. Okay, Razorpay. Now if I add the success credentials, okay, so if I click on pay, now you can see it's taking some time, and hopefully now this time it's successful. So you can see now payment is successful, and you can also check the dashboard of your Razorpay account. You'll get the successful payment option. Okay, so now you can see we made a test payment, and you also get a payment ID. This is the ID which you can also see in your Razorpay dashboard to match the things. Okay, so you can see we made a successful payment. Similarly, you can also use a card. So if I try to click on pay now, I would simply go to the card section. Here you can see we have 4111. So we'll be simply going to the card section, and card number is simply 411111. So this is a Visa card, and let's add an expiry from, suppose we have an expiry of month 05/25. Okay, so the CVV can be anything, 123, and just click on pay now. And here you can see that save now. No, I don't want to save this card, so pay without saving the card. Now you can see that the OTP is something like this. And what can be the OTP? I don't know exactly what will be the OTP, but let's say that the OTP is 123. Okay, I'm not really sure about the OTP. I think they have provided this, but for test payment, you can actually use the UPI option. That would be better. And for OTP, why are they asking OTP? So I have to check for the OTP. Okay, what is the OTP for test payment in what is the OTP for test payment in Razorpay? All right, so here we have the details, and I think the OTP is some random number. Okay, between 4 to 10 digit entered or OTP. Okay. We actually passed only 3 digits, so we have to just reload this to check if it works again or not. Okay, so let's check for OTP also. All right, so let's just restart the application. Now we'll enter a proper OTP between 4 to 10 digits. This is a random OTP, but for real test, you'll be getting real OTP in your card. Okay, that means in your phone number associated with your card. All right, so let's see now. And again, we go here and in the pay now section, here you have to pay 100 rupees. Just go here and just go to the card and just test credentials. So 4111111111. Okay, fine. So let's pass some months. So I would just say that the month is 11/26. CVV is 123. Pay now. Pay without saving guard. OTP can be 12345. Just submit. And now OTP has been submitted. Now you can see payment is successful. Okay, so that's the way how you can use the card also, and the OTP can be any from 4 to 10 digits. Okay, the length of OTP is 4 to 10 digits. All right, so that's how you can show these errors or success messages. I have shown success message when payment is successful. If payment fails, you are showing this alert, or and also you are showing the console log in your console. Okay, so the benefit of this is after this you can just save your object if payment is successful, or else you can show an error message that payment has been failed, please retry, something like that. Okay, so I hope you understood the logic behind payment gateway integration in Razorpay. Definitely there might be a few more changes in future also, but this is a very great method. And what I would do is in the description I'll provide a link for GitHub repository. I'll just upload this on GitHub so that you can see the changes and then you can reuse it in your websites. All right, so I hope you understood this, and what I can actually do is I would just share you this function directly. Okay, so if you want to use, you can use this function directly, that would be better. So yeah, I'll just provide the link in the description. So here you can use that directly. All right, so I hope you understood this video. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the live chat, or you can message me on Instagram at the rate Harshal_30limit. Okay, so that's it for today. I will see you in the next one. Till then, have a good day. Bye bye.